What's up? This is Dark Dirty Spoons from the IWC, and this is my TNA 2012 Turning Point Prediction Show. First off, I'd like to apologize for not being around last week. I was on vacation, and I meant to shoot a video before I left, but then things got kind of crazy right before I left. I went out of town, had a really good time with some buddies, and now I'm back, and these... I don't know what to say about TNA. They have been dominated by this Aces and Eights storyline, and they still surprisingly are able to build very little, if not some intrigue, for some of their lower and their mid-card talented matches for the upcoming pay-per-view, more so than WWE, and with much less time. However, they still have the problem that this Aces and Eights main storyline is still very boring and very much reminiscent of the Invasion storyline that WWE had about 7 or 8 years ago. And all I'm saying is, it doesn't make any sense. If you can call police before, you can call police now. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's get down to the card. Some of these matches were just announced tonight. Actually, Impact will be over in about 13 minutes, and I didn't see any major changes or any matches being added, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot this video. First off, we had a reveal of Luke Gallows, aka Doc, and he will be fighting Joseph Park at the pay-per-view. This is probably going to be a very much a gimmick match, and I very well suspect that Joseph Parks will probably get the win, especially since the Aces and Eights have been beating the crap out of him on Impact Wrestling pretty much on a consistent basis ever since they released him from being kidnapped. Anyway, like I said, I think Joseph Parker will probably get another fluke win. We might even see one of those situations where he starts bleeding and then he gets super strong. Who knows? But I'm going to go ahead and say that Luke Gallows gets embarrassed by Joseph Parks. Next up, we've got Joey Ryan getting a rematch for the X Division Championship against RVD. This is a Bound for Glory rematch that got very little build. I'm actually more intrigued to see what Matt Morgan is going to do in this match. I suspect Matt Morgan will interfere, but it'll probably be caught by either the ref or Hulk Hogan. Joey Ryan does not get the X Division Championship. RVD retains. This is a good spot for RVD to be in. He doesn't talk much, and he doesn't work much. And he can maybe elevate its X Division a little bit by holding on to that title for a little more than a month. Next up, we've got Tara and her boy toy Jesse versus ODB and EY. Now, EY has not been seen on TV in several weeks, and he's under contract disputes with TNA. Especially in house shows, he's been leaning towards the fact that he will be leaving the organization soon. I personally think this is a bad move on EY, as in WWE is full of mid-card comedy acts, and I don't know how well he would do on the independent circuit. I think this is probably just him talking. I do see him re-signing with TNA, and therefore I do see ODB and EY going over Tara and Jesse at this time. I've got to say that ODB and Tara and this Jesse, this little montage hodgepodge of people, has been actually one of the brighter spots of TNA, if for no other reason that it is hilarious, especially if you know the real ages of ODB and Tara, that their relationships currently on TV makes them some of the most successful cougars in history. And the next match is Kurt Angle versus Devon. Devon and Bully Ray teased the match last week on Open Fight Night, and now Kurt Angle's getting this spot. Now, since Kurt Angle's getting this spot, I'm fairly certain that Devon will be victorious over Kurt Angle to build intrigue to Devon versus Bully Ray. Angle is basically putting himself as a glorified, I'm not going to say jobber, but he's definitely going to put Devon over to build intrigue to that Devon Bully Ray match that we're going to get in the future. So, that being said, we're going to get some championship matches. We got the TNA television champion Samoa Joe going against Magnus in a no DQ match. Again, these guys have had some really stellar matches. Last year when they were tagging together, Magnus is saying this is a continuation, saying that he is better than Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, on the other hand, has been rolling guys ever since he got that TV championship belt, and I don't see that stopping at all. I see Magnus losing again to Samoa Joe. The only thing that really makes me kind of concerned is that since this is a no DQ match, and Magnus has basically got DQ finishes on his last two encounters with Joe, it's very well possible that Magnus could win, but I'm going to go with Joe retaining the television championship. I think that the no DQ stipulation is, again, just another way to elevate Samoa Joe. Next, we've got the TNA Tag Team Champions of Chavo, Guerrero, and Hernandez versus Daniels and Kazarian. Daniels and Kazarian, they are doing some excellent mic work. They're great heel wrestlers. They're great heel personalities. And they, again, are another rare bright spot. They don't wrestle often, but when they do, they always cheat. They're always arrogant. I mean, they call themselves the World Tag Team Champions of the world. You can't get any better than that. I mean, these guys are just cocky, weasel, slimy heels, and I'm really liking the work that Kazarian and Daniels are doing right now. And that being said, I think that they're going to recapture the tag team champions of TNA. Their cockiness can only take them so far, and I think that they really need the belts, and that I think that Hernandez and Chavo Guerrero need to chase. They don't really have anything to do besides this. There are no other tag teams. Well, there's no other established tag teams in TNA right now. So I think that these these four men are gonna be switching these belts for a while, and it's gonna make for some real entertaining television. Finally, that brings us to the main event: Austin Aries versus Jeff Hardy in a ladder match for the TNA Heavyweight Championship. Again, this match is mired in controversy because Mr. Hardy is also having his contract come up. Hardy's contract's not due up until next year, though, so I think that if they're gonna go with him, that they're definitely going to be going all the way with Jeff Hardy. They tried it with Austin Aries. I don't know how well it worked or how well it didn't work. All I know is I like face Austin Aries a heck of a lot more than this heel Austin Aries. This heel Austin Aries still calling himself the greatest in the world. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. It really has problems with me, and I don't see him really connecting with the crowd. However, Jeff Hardy's still one of the most popular wrestlers they have right now. And if they are going to keep him, I say they keep him strong, keep him at the top of that card, keep him with that belt. Now, I purposely missed a match, and it's a triple threat match between AJ Styles, James Storm, Robert Roode. Because I think this match is really, to me, the main event. And it's the match that will really set up what TNA is going to be able to do all of 2013. This is a triple threat match for the #1 contendership, and Hulk Hogan has stated that the person who gets pinned will not get a title shot until Bound for Glory 2013. That's important because that means that two of these guys are going to be in that main event title picture for the next year, while one of these guys is not. And I'm going to make this bold prediction that AJ Styles will be in the title picture. So that means it's really between Robert Roode and James Storm. Now, here's the problem. Robert Roode was already out of the title picture when he challenged Austin Aries and lost this summer. So I think that James Storm is going to get pinned by Robert Roode. Robert Roode's going to be the #1 contender to go up against Jeff Hardy. And James Storm, that's right, James Storm will not be getting a TNA Heavyweight Championship match until Bound for Glory 2013. That is my crazy prediction for this particular pay-per-view, and that's what I think is going to happen. Quick rundown of the card. Ace and 8 members Doc versus Joseph Parks. Joseph Parks gets the win after he turns into Abyss. RVD retain against Joey Ryan for the X Division title, and I think Matt Morgan's going to get caught with his hand in a cookie jar, get kicked out, a few punches from Hogan, blah 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 blah. ODB and EY over Tara and Jesse. Tara and Jesse is kind of creepy to me, but that's because I know how old Tara is in real life. Kurt Angle will lose to Devon, building up Devon versus Bully Ray. TV champion Samoa Joe will retain in a no DQ match against Magnus. The TNA tag team champions will drop their tag team belts to Daniels and Kazarian. That's right, Chavo, Guerrero, and Hernandez will lose to Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. The main event will be Jeff Hardy retaining over Austin Aries in a ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And my main event, the three-way between AJ Styles, James Storm, and Bobby Roode. James Storm gets pinned by Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode is your new #1 contender for the TNA Heavyweight Championship. This has been That Dirty Spoon from the IWC, and I'm signing off.